because it's kind of funny that just by catching fish was the thing that made Peter drop to his knees and be like, you are God. But you have to think about the context. And Christian and I were just thinking of funny comparisons, and we were like, it would be like if Jesus showed up and Steph Curry was shooting a half-court shot. And he's like, I have been out here all night trying to hit 10 in a row, but it's impossible. And Jesus is like, try it again. And he's like, no, it's impossible. He's like, no, try it again now that I'm here. And he's like, no, I've seriously been doing this all night. And then he does it, and Jesus actually does it with him. Boom, 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 10. And Steph Curry's like, you are the Lord. Like, that's crazy because I'm a pro and you just did that. So this is kind of what this is like. So it says also James and John were there who were partners with Simon Peter. And Jesus said to Simon, do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men. And when they brought their boats to the land, they left everything and they followed him. Okay, now I'm going to read you my story. Relationships, they are an amazing thing. I assume everyone here has a best friend. Raise your hand if you have a best friend. You don't have to say who it is. Everyone has a best friend. My best friend in the world is here with me tonight. His name is Christian Huff. Hey, yo. Where my boo? Where my boo? He's over there. He's my best friend for several reasons. Because we laugh the most together. We know the most embarrassing things about each other. We probably embarrass each other the most. And we really just know more about each other than anyone else does in the world. And that makes someone a best friend. It's amazing to have a community of friends, we all know this, but there's something extraordinary about having a best friend. It's different. For example, if you were going to go to a movie with your group of friends, you'd be excited to go with your group, but you definitely make sure that you walk in the theater closest to your best friend so that you get to sit together. If you were to ask me, how can I know who my best friend is, I would say your best friend is the one that you choose to sit by. Jesus had close friends and he had best friends. All of Jesus' disciples were his friends, but Peter, James, and John were three of his best friends. I want us to look at Peter's story tonight with Jesus and a little bit of his testimony. And I also want to share with y'all a little bit of my testimony with Jesus. I was at the dentist the other day this week, and I was going to a new dentist for the first time. And the lady looked at me and she said, I was so nervous when I saw your name on the list today because I didn't know what I would talk to you about. I have questions that I, of course, ask all my patients, but I already know everything about you. And so we awkwardly sat there while my mouth was open for a long time, and she didn't ask any questions. I understood what she meant to some degree, but I thought, dang, I feel like this lady doesn't know everything about me. And although she might follow me on Instagram and listen to my podcast, and maybe she's watched everything I put out there, even if she did that, she wouldn't know everything about me. I think unintentionally we do that sometimes to people in the Bible. We think that we know them because we've read a certain book about them, we've heard a certain story, we've listened to a sermon told about them. And so because we think we know them, we just stop asking questions. We stop learning, we stop digging, we stop reading, and we stop seeking. Tonight, I can guarantee you that a lot of people have heard the story that I just read. And a lot of people may have even heard bits and pieces of my story. But I want to challenge you to listen as if we're going to coffee together for the first time and as if you don't know anything about me and anything about Peter. Luke 5, on this occasion we just read about, while the crowd was pressing in on him to hear a word, God was standing there. Jesus was standing there at the lake of Gennesaret, and he saw two boats by the lake, but the fishermen had gone, and they were washing them. And it says, getting into the one of the boats, which was Peter's. I stopped right there to think about how cool that must have been.